What's doing, everybody? I'm Alec. Thank you for watching First Class Fatherhood. Today's guest on the podcast is a founding member of the popular boy band Nsync, Chris Kirkpatrick. Chris Kirkpatrick and Nsync have absolutely just crushed the music industry. They have toured all over the world. It's an honor to have him on the podcast with me today. Don't forget to smack that subscribe button down below, tap the like, and let's jump into it right now with Chris Kirkpatrick on First Class Fatherhood. Joining me now, First Class Father, Chris Kirkpatrick. Welcome to First Class Fatherhood.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
All right, let's start like this. How many kids you got? How old are they?
I got one, and he'll be 3 in October.
Awesome. Did you guys find out what you were having, or did you do like any kind of gender reveal?
Yeah, we did a gender reveal. We had a friend of ours get the envelope from the doctor, and we did a gender reveal. And it's funny because we watched the video from the reveal, and my wife's face is priceless because she swore we were having a little girl. And I've got 4 sisters and 8 nephews and no nieces. So they were like, well, Chris is having the girl for sure. And when we found out it was a boy, her face just dropped, and it was priceless.
Wow, awesome. You guys going to try for the girl, or you're all done?
We're still trying. We had a hard time with him. You know, we've been married 7 years, and, you know, we've got a almost 3-year-old. So we had, you know, a time with him, and we're having a time with the second, but, you know, God willing, we'll have another one.
Yeah, very cool. Chris, if you could, just take a minute here to hit my listeners with a little bit about your background and what you do.
All right, so I started the band Nsync, and basically grew up doing music. Used to be a singer-songwriter, then moved into, you know, the whole boy band type thing, and put together what I thought at the time was a vocal group, not knowing what boy band meant, but, you know, put together a vocal group, and other than that, you know, that's taken up a lot of my life. And then after we took a little hiatus, full-time dad.
Yeah, you've had an incredible career, Chris. Nsync, obviously one of the most well-known groups around the world. What was it like now for you? You became a dad a little bit later after all the success for you. So how did becoming a dad kind of change your perspective on life?
Well, that was definitely intentional. You know, I didn't want to, you know, I wanted to go out and enjoy the road and enjoy having fun and being out there. And you know, that's really hard to do as a dad. I mean, there's a lot of great guys out there that can juggle that. You know, I really wanted to focus on, you know, if I was going to be a dad, I wanted to be around as much as possible. And at the time, it just wouldn't have been feasible. So, you know, I waited, and now it's definitely a godsend because, you know, I can sit here, and my gigs are usually on the weekends, or, you know, and now that everything's going on, obviously by Skype or whatever, or Zoom, and, you know, it makes it so I can see I'm with my kid all the time. I'm with him 24/7. I see the little baby steps he does, you know, no pun intended, but, you know, the exact every little detail, I'm around for him. And, you know, it's cool because, you know, he's like my little best friend, and something that I never thought in a million years would change my life like it did. You know, it went from, hey, let's go to this club tonight, or this bar, or that, to, hey, let's go to Chuck E. Cheese today, or let's go, you know, here. And just spending time with him, seeing the world through his eyes was totally worth it.
Yeah, well said. That's awesome, Chris. And what would you say are the top values that you're hoping to instill in your son growing up?
There's so many, you know. I mean, I think the cool thing is we're in a day and age now where a lot of the social bias that we've had, you know, through life have all changed. And, you know, he's going to grow up in a climate with the internet where he sees that we're all just human beings, and he treats everybody the same. And, you know, I think respect, you know, I want him to respect, you know, his fellow, you know, person, and just be a good kid. You know, I want him to turn out like so somebody goes, man, he must have had a good, you know, mom and dad around, because he's just, you know, I guess I probably respect, and that's probably, you know, covers all the other bases.
Yeah, good stuff. What does your bedtime routine look like with him? Are you a storybook teller there? You reading him books, or you singing him songs from the old hit albums there?
Yeah, we do a little of both. We do a little of everything. One thing that I really like to do to him is I'll go in, and when we put him down, we usually lay with him for a while because we got him this bed with bumpers on the side, so there's room for us. So we'll go in and lay him down, and I'll ask him, you know, about his day, and what his favorite parts of the day were. And my wife's getting him to start doing his prayers and everything. But I like to put on just like random classical music or different kind of music that kind of soothes him. But yet for some reason I'm thinking, okay, he's going to hear this music and remember it. And if he becomes a writer, he's going to, pull on these young times of his life where I remember this and this and this, but and then we just fall asleep together. Sometimes I end up sleeping in his room. Sometimes I make it back to my bed.
Yeah, I know the feeling. I know the situation. What kind of advice, Chris, do you have for parents out there that have kids that are interested in pursuing a music career as their profession?
I think if you have kids pursuing the career, first of all, don't forget your priorities, and it's a lot tougher, once you become a parent. And, saying that from a standpoint from I already made my career and was successful in what I did to be able to have the kid. Whereas, reverse, you still have to remember that kid's the priority. And it's tough when you're starting a career because, in the days when we were starting, the career was my only priority. I had to live, sleep, drink, the band and what we were doing. And now it's I live, sleep, drink my kid. And, to flip those around, it's going to be really tough. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of sleepless nights, but just don't forget where your main priority is.
Yeah, well said. And are you guys all from Nsync in the band? Are you guys still close to this day where your kids know each other as maybe uncles and stuff like that? Are your kids all close and you guys like a big family?
Well, only 3 of us have kids, and Joey's got 2 daughters that are a lot older. So they've met, but they don't really hang out because they're daughters. But Justin's kid and my kid, whenever they see each other, they're really good to each other. Justin's kid's a few years older, but he's real patient with him. And, it's kind of cool because, we joke around all the time where one time Justin's kid had a toy and he was holding it up and my kid was trying to jump up and get it. And Justin looks over at me, he goes, "Hey, that's like me and you." And, things are like, it's cool to see the next generation of the band, hanging out with each other.
How have you managed to keep them busy here during the coronavirus? You guys been quarantined over there, sheltered in place. How did you kind of get them through all that?
Yeah, we've been pretty quarantined. There's been, my wife makes sure that we get him outside at least, for a bit during the day and get him out of the house and try to find things. I mean, it's really tough with the kid because, we want to do a little bit of traveling or stuff like that, but we can't, even fly right now because my wife and I could fly. But when you've got a little kid, he wants to grab everything and put his hands in his mouth and do all this stuff. So we have to be, real careful about that. But we've made a couple road trips and, still we've taken him back home to see family and things like that and try to keep his mind off things. We bought him tons of puzzles. He's got toys. We're always real interactive with him during the day and making sure that he's learning different things. I mean, like I said, he's not even 3 yet, but we've got all these different, computer games, things that we're trying to teach him how to, be an adult or be a kid before, he needs to.
Yeah, good stuff. And I know you said that he's not even really 3 yet. So I know this is what type of disciplinarian have you been so far? Are you a spanker, timeout guy? How are you kind of handling that with him?
Well, I grew up, we grew up getting spanked and, that was just the way it was. But, he's so little too that there are times when I look at him, I want to spank him, but I'm like, I'm not going to spank him. But it's been maybe 4 months now that amazing invention called the timeout has finally hit home with him, and putting him in a place and not letting him move, and that's been punishment enough. In fact, we were on a road trip the other day, and he was in his car seat, and he was acting up and kept throwing stuff, and I looked back at him, and I said, "If you don't knock it off, I'm going to put you in timeout." And as soon as I said it, I'm thinking to myself, he's strapped in a car seat, driving down the road. I don't know what timeout would be, but the thought of timeout scares him enough where it was like, okay, sorry, I'll stop.
Yeah, you hope that the threat is enough sometimes that you don't got to follow through because then you're thinking, exactly. How am I going to do this?
Yeah, exactly.
And have you gotten to, because I know I have 4 kids myself, and I know what my first one of those moments for me was being able to leave him with somebody And so my wife and I could go out for a first date. At what point did you finally get to, or did you get to that already, where you felt comfortable enough leaving him, where you and your wife could go out for a date night?
Oh yeah, we've got some great sitters. They're usually friends, really close friends that are really good with kids. I think the very first time was probably with one of our probably her mom or sisters. I have one of my sisters is amazing with him, and we've traveled before and flown her in to stay with him for a couple days. And we come back and he's got all these new crafts he's done and all this really cool stuff. So there's a couple that we really trust, and it's a matter of us going out and juggling which one of the few sitters are going to watch him. But he's really good with them all.
Okay, very cool. And obviously you've had a tremendous career, a lot of success in your life. What kind of plans do you have here for yourself right now? What kind of goals do you have in the future?
Well, it's really tough in the business right now for us, but I'm getting back into doing some more writing again, and I still do a lot of performing and little one-off shows here and there or whatever, and just I think really just enjoying life and enjoying having a family and being in the position where I can do these weekend gigs and it'll get us by, and we don't have to worry about where the next meal's coming from or if rent's paid or things like that. So it's been really a blessing to me to have the career and now have the family time.
Awesome. And last thing I want to hit you with here, Chris, I love to ask all the dads that I get on the podcast, what type of advice do you have for that new dad or for that about to be father who's out there listening?
Patience. It's patience. It's the old cliche, what everybody says, and I was told a million times before I had a kid, you're not prepared. So, I think if you're about to have a kid, the best way to be prepared is to know that you're not prepared and being okay with that and understanding that, you can try all you want to have everything in order and think it's going to be exactly this way. But, the minute that kid comes into the world, there's things that in a million years you couldn't write down or put in words to somebody and say, this is what's going to happen or this is what's going to happen. And just be patient with the process. And, as the kid grows, enjoy seeing life again through a brand new pair of eyes.
Yeah, very well said. I love the message. This has been an honor for me. I got to say, Chris Kirkpatrick, you're a first-class father all the way, and thank you so much for giving me a few minutes of your time here on First Class Fatherhood.
Thanks, Alec. Appreciate it.